everybody, welcome again. Told you I'd give you a little bonus video from doing our talk yesterday about lighting and heat. Speaking of heat, let's say your dragon is awake and happy instead of brumating and it's a little coolish outside, but you want to take him with you, to the pharmacy or the store or the bookstore, which is all places I take mine, but wherever you like to take them. But you want him to be a little bit, insulated. I'm going to teach you today how you can make your bearded dragon a sweater using fuzzy socks. Yes, you heard it here first. Fuzzy socks make the best sweater. These are just a couple of the ones that Finian has. He wore this sparkly, collegiate looking one for New Year's one year. And he's got a little emoji one with the kiss face so that when we go out places, and you'd be surprised, people that are normally afraid of the bearded dragon, you put a little emoji sweater on them and they can't wait to come over and talk about them and touch them. So, you'll see. Okay, so go down to your local 99-cent store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, whatever you have in your neck of the woods. Look for fuzzy socks. You can also go to your local department store, but I'd rather pay 99 cents than $3.99 or $5.99 for the exact same pair of socks. Okay, so when you're looking for them, I find that for an adult bearded dragon, if you get the women's size, sock size 9 to 11, which is also shoe size 4 to 10, it's a perfect size to make a sweater. Just worked out that way, people. If you have a juvenile or your dragon's especially big or especially little, you just need to measure, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Find the ones that don't have any little grippies on the sole, because if your dragon, like mine, has a little tummy, they have grippers on the bottom of their sweater. They kind of skid along instead of being able to walk freely. So you want to get the kind that don't have any grippers, like these. Okay. And remember, you pay $1, you get a pair, and this gives you automatically 2 sweaters, right? So if you have 2 dragons, you're all set. Otherwise, you have one in a spare, which is not a terrible thing. Now, you can use either the top part of the sock or the bottom part of the sock. I specifically look for designs that are mostly on the foot part, because Finn is about the size of the foot part. The other thing that I like about the foot part, which I'll show you on these, is that you're going to be cutting an opening for their head. Okay, if you cut the opening, if you cut about 1.5 inches off the very tip, there's a seam that runs along the toe of the sock. That seam will keep it from unraveling the rest of the way. So I find that's the easiest way. You just cut a chunk out and it's fine. If you use the top part of the sock, which again, you can totally do, and it's got that little elastic, so it kind of hugs your dragon. But I find that these openings are pretty large, unless you have a dragon with a really big head or a really big neck. You probably don't need an opening. Now you can, if you're great at sewing, I cannot sew, people, at all. If you're great at sewing and you want to put a little dart on each side and make the opening smaller, since there's already an opening here, by all means, go for it. Okay. Now, if you're not sure what size you need, you can always take your dragon, and what you want to do is you want to make sure when you measure, you're going to take whatever sock you buy. You're going to measure your dragon. Now, what you want to do is you want to have coverage from his little neck down to about where his back legs start. You don't want to cover his back legs, and you don't want to cover his vent underneath, because you don't want to be washing poop out of your sweaters all the time. I mean, you could. It's a sock. You throw it in the washer, it's fine. But you don't want to have to. So if you stop it right about where their back legs start, perfect. Okay. Now, I happen to know that Finn is about that size. So when I cut the sock, the beauty of it is, and again, this one, I don't know if you can see that any better, but here's that stitched in seam. So I'm going to cut just a little bit out of here, and that will give him a neck area to be around his neck. You'll hit him right here. And I know that his arms are about a half inch, almost, well, 3/4 of an inch from where his head will be to where his arms have to stick out. Okay, I happened to find at the 99-cent store last time I was there, these cute little socks with Santa for the holidays. So this was a pair, which is great, because then I have one sock for Merlin and one sock for Finn, and they had a pink pair. So I have one for Ruby. She'd have a pink one and a spare, okay? Or we might gift it, we'll see. Anyway, so here is how easy, this is so easy, you guys are not gonna believe this. Okay, so all you do is you make your selection. And again, you can use the top of the sock or you can use the bottom. Now, if you have a dragon and you look at it and you're like, woo, that's just really, really too big, you can get a smaller sock. Get like an adolescent or teenage size sock, or, you know, maybe you want to get a boy's camouflage sock or something. Get the fuzzy ones, because you want to have a sock where your dragon is going to have plenty of room. See this? Okay, you don't want to strangle them, and you don't want to make them feel constricted. You don't want to keep them from being able to walk. Don't do any of that. That will just make them miserable. Okay, so what you want to do, and yes, these have the grippers that I just told you not to get, okay, but mostly these are going to be for them to wear when they're out with me and I'm holding them and they have a harness. So it's okay, because they're not going to really be walking around in this one. They'll be walking around in one like that, okay? So all you do is you get your favorite pair of fabric scissors, whatever you want to use. Okay, you find that little seam that I was telling you about, and you cut just above that little seam. So it's going to fit on him kind of like that. All right, so I'm going to cut about, I'm going to say 1.5 inches, maybe off of the top. I know, Finn, check it out, right? Look, it's Santa. And that will give me ample room for his little head. You might even start with 1 inch and try it, because you can always take more off, but you can't put any back, right? Once you make the cut, you're dedicated. Okay, and Finn, I know, is the perfect size that all I need to do is cut right before the heel, because in this size sock, my adult dragon happens to be that size. So you're going to just take your scissors, and you're going to cut a straight line just before the heel, if you're going to use the foot part of the sock. Now, there have been people that have used this and made it like a hoodie, where this part hung over their dragon's head. The dragon didn't seem to enjoy it, but people have done it. Whatever floats your boat. In which case, you have the bottom part already made, okay? And you would do the same thing. So what you would do now is you want them to wear it, you know, with the picture showing. Okay, so it's going to be on them like this, okay? Fold that in half the long way, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to go down about, from the seam, you're going to go down 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch and cut a half circle. You have it folded so that they will both cut at the same time and be even, and that will be their armholes, okay? Another thing I will mention here is when you get fuzzy socks, and, you know, sadly, the cheaper the sock, the more important this is. Once you get it made, try it on your dragon. Once you discover, see the little half circles? So when you open it back up, you now have an armhole equal on each side. Okay, so what you'll want to do is, after you make sure it fits your dragon and it's the right size, wash them before you put them on, because the cheaper the sock, the more pills that you're going to find. There are going to be all these little pills, and they're going to come off all over you, all over your scales on your dragon. It's, you know, it's a bummer. So then, next thing you do is you try it on. So here's the sweater. So you just try not to make it scary. If your dragon freaks out the first few times, it's okay. They will eventually not when they realize, ooh, snuggly. They're not going to be upset about it. So if you scrunch it up together and make the hole at the top, you know, good sized, and you just put it over their little head, as you can see, Finn's like, oh man, close again, really? Okay. So put their little head in there. You probably are going to get some attitude about it. It's okay. Put it on there. You know, they get upset, say, oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I promise you'll like it once you put it on. It's snuggly. Find your little armhole. Very gently put your dragon's arm in there. Find the armhole on the other side. Like I said, the stretchier you can find a sock, the better, okay? Now you've got your head and you've got both arms in. Now, you take your dragon, you reach underneath where it always bunches up, does the same thing to us, right? Bunched up sweater. So you go in there and you find out, what did I do? You find out you put it through the wrong way and you have to fix it. Okay, so if you got it on the right way, which as you can see I had a little screw up there, it should slip on fairly easily. And there you go. Now, your dragon has the latest thing in winter fashion, right? All out of a sock. It's a sock, guys. If you are new at doing this, but you can see what I mean about the pills. You see all those little pieces of blue and white? You can see there are some falling off as we speak. Once you put it in the washer and dryer, that will stop happening, okay? So, and you can see that, oh, I'm sorry, I had to scrunch your little head in there. But as you can see, doesn't bother him an iota. He's like, oh, blanket, okay, cool. You can adjust the harness to fit over it. So if we take them out, because you want to take them out, you want them to be secure. So you want either a harness or a leash, something where you've got a hold of them so that if they get scared, a loud noise goes off in the parking lot, a bird of prey flies overhead. We have a ton of hawks here where I live, owls, falcons, any bird of prey. You know that if they get scared and try to all of a sudden take off out of instinct, you got a hold of them, okay? So yeah, that's Finn's latest. But as you can see, he's not really that pissed about it. You know, he's just not sure this internet fame thing is for him. But that's all you have to do. You have the latest thing in bearded dragon winter wear. So what I will do is I will take this other sock and I will do the exact same thing. I will cut it here at the ankle. I'll cut a little bit at the top, probably maybe 1.25 inches out of the top because Merlin has a skinnier neck. He's longer, but Finn is heavier. So, but I will do the same cuts. I will fold it after I do the cut at the top, open it when you make the cut at the top, then I will fold it in half so I can cut the armholes at the same time, make a half circle, open it, cut it off here, and voila, there will be another one. I'll do the same thing with the pink socks, and I will make a Christmas outfit for Miss Ruby. So she will also be a fashion-forward kind of girl. Okay. So hopefully that answered all of that. And you can see there's plenty of room up here. There's nothing strangulating him. There's nothing that's uncomfortable. He's got freedom of movement all the way around. You can see he's got plenty of room here. But it does cover him all the way to it. I know, I'm sorry, I'm talking about you. He's covered all the way to where his back legs begin. But if you look underneath, you can see that his vent is perfectly okay and available to him at any time he needs it, right? So, and it keeps it clean. But again, you can put him in the washer. It's okay to put him in the washer. See, he's showing you that, yeah, it's no big. I would put it in. I like to, okay, you're gonna think this is funny because, you know, I overdo with my dragons, but I preheat their sweaters just like I preheat their towels when they take a shower because, you know, warmth. They're always trying to keep their warmth in. You can do this a couple ways. You can take the sweater and just tuck it under your shirt and walk around with it for a few minutes, for 10 or 15 minutes before you're going to leave to take them somewhere. You can shove it in the dryer for 10 minutes with a fabric softener, unless your fabric softener is heavily scented, in which case, don't do it. I'm talking about just an easy, minimal, not too harsh smelling dryer sheet, because you don't want to make static cling and zap your dragon, right? So, dryer sheet, sock, dryer, 10 minutes, come back. It'll be just the right temperature to put on your dragon. And then they will be more than happy to go out and meet their adoring public because, you know, how cute are they, right? So hopefully that gave you an option on what you need to do when you take your dragon out and you want them to look the part. I will tell you, Finn and Merlin have an entire wardrobe. Every holiday, they have pumpkin ones, they have leprechauns for St. Patrick's Day, they have all kinds. I've not yet been able to find a turkey sock, but when I do, they will have a Thanksgiving sweater. Okay, so hopefully that answered any question you had about how do I keep them warm in the winter when I'm taking them out. One fuzzy sock will do you wonders. So, you know, you can also, if you have one that you've worn out and it's still in decent shape, but it's too worn for you, make a sweater out of it. They don't care if you've worn it on your feet, they're fine with it. You're welcome. So, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, this is literally all there is to it. And it does keep them very snuggly. So, you know, anywhere you're going to go in the winter, if you're going to go into a building, it's probably got some heat. If you're going to be in the car, you could turn your heater on. They really do quite well. It gives them enough insulation where they don't lose all of the heat that they built up while they were basking. So you're all set to go. Finn's like, all right, when are we getting in the car and going to see my adoring public? Yeah. So hopefully you'll make lots and lots of nice, warm, cozy sweaters. If you know anybody with the bearded dragon, it's a fun gift. I have to tell you, you can get it really inexpensive and wrap it up or put it in a stocking and give it to them. They will love it. Their dragons will love it. And you made it with your own little hands, right? So it's kind of an extra cheat that way. Okay. So that was just a quick run through, guys. Hopefully that offered some help. Again, any questions you have, leave it in the comments. And we will be coming out next week with a video all about food for your dragon. What do you feed these guys? And we will talk about everything that there is to know about greens as well as their protein sources. Okay? So hope everybody's having an awesome week. Make your sweaters for your babies. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.